Holy freaking moly. It has been just a little bit. It's been a couple of weeks, and it's because I have been working on something. And that is what you see behind me. This is the brand new Finval 685 Fish Pro. This has been a long awaited video. I know you guys have been waiting and waiting. I've been getting a ton of comments on when are you gonna be talking about the new boat? When are we gonna see the new rig? And finally, we got it in our possession. I actually just got done rigging it this morning. I spent the last couple of days putting graphs on, putting trolling motor on, graphs in the back, power poles. This whole thing has just been a project, but I am super stoked to finally get this thing out on the water. The last couple of weeks has just been killing me. Mainly because the ice has been gone off the Fox. It's even off of Green Bay now. People are getting out there. They're catching some nice fish. And I wanted to be out there so bad, but I had to get the battleship done. We are actually heading to Erie today. We're going to be heading that way later tonight. But I wanted to do a little walkthrough video for you guys on this rig before we jump out onto the water in Ohio. Just to kind of show you guys what we got going on, everything that we did to this boat, and yeah, basically the battleship that we're going to be running for this year. You guys know that we're going to be fishing the National Walleye Tour this year too as well. Actually, our first event coming up here in Ohio on Lake Erie. But if you guys are new here, go down, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, if you guys want to book a guided trip with me this year, out on Green Bay, even the Fox River yet this spring, you want to fish in the battleship, the new Finval 685, you can check that out in the description below. I'll leave some information down there how you can book a trip with me. But let's get to talking about what you guys really want to see, that is the new Finval here. Now, I've been getting some questions on this Finval on whether it is fiberglass or aluminum. It is aluminum. There's going to be a foam kind of insert on the inside of that. And then on the opposite side of that foam, you're going to have another wall of 4mm aluminum. So this is thick aluminum. It's actually twice the amount of thickness compared to some of the aluminum boats that are actually built here in the States. And I say that because these are actually built in Ukraine. These hulls are built in Ukraine, and then they are shipped over to the United States, where they get outfitted with all the carpet, the windshield, and basically everything else that you see on the boat. But all of these boats are hand welded. You can just see all the way up and down the bow here, all the struts on the bottom, everything is welded by hand. So super impressive construction on this. And you can tell it just kind of looks like a bullet, and it feels like a bullet going through the water too as well. I had the opportunity to test drive this boat last October, and that's what really kind of pushed me towards this rig for this season. But yes, it's aluminum, it's durable, it's strong, it's heavy. But let's get to talking about what we did to this boat. And I'm gonna start up front here. The first thing that I did upgrade to this season was the Garmin Kraken. I ran 2 transducer cables down the shaft of this trolling motor, so I actually have a forward view, and then I also have a perspective view. Doing this was not easy, but we got the job done. So I got 2 transducers at the head of this trolling motor. We zip tied those up the cables all the way up to the head here, where the transducer cables actually come out. And those are connected to this top graph here, and then I have forward on this graph over here, which I'll show you in just a little bit. But before we hop up into the boat, I want to show you the construction at the front of this trailer. So what they do at Finval is something that is a little different. Normally you have like a roller up here, you know, and your hook to connect it to the trailer is below, you know, that roller. Well, now we have a V-block. This V-block is going to make putting it on the trailer very simple. You don't have to worry about this thing rolling down on you. Basically, you can pull this boat up all the way till it hits the V-block, and then as long as you have the trailer positioned correctly in the water, this thing isn't going to go anywhere. You're going to be able to walk down the stairs and connect it right at the top here. So pretty interesting construction here at the front. This is something that's probably going to take a little getting used to, but I like the way that this is set up, and I think it's going to be I think it's going to work really well this year. But let's go ahead, jump into the boat, and show you the rest of the rig and what we have installed on it. All right, so now that we are at the bow of the boat, otherwise my workstation, this is probably going to be where I spend majority of my time. I get a lot of questions on this seat. This is a Millennium Marine horse seat, basically, that I got on the front here. Just goes right on to the base of your standard pedestal seat there. I'm just going to set that aside for right now so I can show you what's going on up front. So as you can see, the deck of this Finval 685 is huge. This is actually a 22-foot boat, so that 685 is actually in centimeters. But the space up here, the dance floor, is incredible. I got room for myself and probably 2 or 3 other anglers up here to be casting off the bow. So a lot of room up here. I really like that, especially nowadays that we're transitioning into a lot of those casting bites rather than trolling bites. Having this space up here is actually really important to me. So if you come back up front here, this is kind of pretty similar to what I was running last year. These are 12-inch Echo Maps right here. These are the Ultra 2s. One is going to be running my perspective on the trolling motor. The other one down here is going to be basically just for mapping, side imaging, and stuff like that. And then this 8612 Garmin graph right here is basically going to be my forward-facing sonar. That is basically what's going on up front. I got that all bolted into the faceplate up here, so it's all basically directly to the boat. My 2 black boxes I actually have mounted in the bow here too as well, so everything's nice and close. I ran 10 gauge wire from my batteries in the back all the way up front, so I got nice clean power going to all of my graphs and the black boxes. That way I'm getting the best picture possible on these units. Moving down the bow of the boat here, I'll show you the 2 big storage compartments we got up front. These things are massive. This is where I got a lot of my gear. So basically, because we are going to Erie here, we got a lot of trolling gear on this side right now, and then a lot of casting gear over here. The first week we are in Erie here, I'm gonna have a boatload of people. We're gonna be doing some trolling. And then that week before the National Walleye Tour, we're gonna try some casting. So I got pretty much everything stacked away and ready to go in here for that. One thing that I do like is Finval did add 2 little storage compartments on the front of each helm here. So on the driver's side, I got a nice little storage compartment there. And then I also got one on the passenger side too as well. All right, another thing that I really love about this Finval boat is the rod locker. This thing is massive. I've got 3 dinky rods in there right now. I got the rest of the rods in the garage that we got to get loaded up in here before we leave, but very massive rod locker. I can fit a number of rods in here. I can probably, once I put my rod sleeves on, double up rods in each slot too as well. Finval labeled each tube there. That way you know what size rods you can fit on each of those tubes. Also got some space underneath. Awesome rod locker. I love how wide it opens too. That way I have room to get all of my rods in there. Another thing that I really like is the windshield on this boat. It's very large. As you can see, it's got that length, so it covers a lot of, the cockpit here when you're going to be moving. It's nice and angled. It looks really sharp. This is a tailor-made windshield, so it's one of the most popular windshields that's put on most of the boats that are made nowadays. But you can lock it. And then one thing that's really unique that I've never seen on a boat before is we actually have this little PVC glass that encloses that windshield completely. So now you're going to basically be enclosed in here. You're not going to have any wind that can get through and cool you off, especially on these cool days like we have today and the cool weather that we're going to be fishing in on Lake Erie too. Not only is it going to keep you nice and warm, it's also going to keep you dry too as well. You're not going to get any of that spray that can sometimes come from underneath that windshield. So pretty unique. Again, never seen this on a boat before, but it is something that Finval actually offers on their entire lineup of boats. We've got a nice big glove box here. This is actually really nice. I've got a lot of stuff in there. It goes all the way back basically to the windshield. So nice big glove box, which is always nice to have for a number of things when you're working in there. Got a nice big grab handle here for the passenger. These are actually fiberglass helms that are actually basically connected right to the boat. So they're very sturdy. They're not going to move around on you. You can lean on them a little bit. They're super sturdy, which is really nice. They're not going to rattle in rough water or anything like that. Everything about this boat construction-wise is just super solid. We got a nice little phone holder over here, some USB ports, and then if you notice, we actually have a little button right here. And what that does is if you push it, it actually turns on some heated elements that are inside of these seats. So each seat here, actually the passenger and the driver are gonna have heated seats. Those are gonna be adjustable, high, medium, and low, just by pushing those buttons. Kind of neat. Again, something that you don't typically see on a lot of boats, but having some heated seats during that cold weather is definitely gonna be nice. And then over on the driver's side, this cockpit is pretty sweet. I did about as much as I possibly could do with this. We got obviously the driver's seat here. What I did this year is I actually added a 16-inch echo map. This is a pretty nice graph. I've never had a graph this large, but it's really nice. Basically, I'm only running one graph at the helm now. So I'll be able to split screen this. If I want to, I can run, my 2D sonar, my side imaging, and then my mapping on the other side. Or I can just have my hotkeys set. That way I can flip back and forth. But with me spending so much time on the front of the boat now, I really don't need to have a huge setup here at the dash. So basically what I did, one 16-inch graph, and we're gonna be good to go with that. Another thing that I did add were these paddles. This is something that I had on my last boat. Actually, on the last boat, I only had one paddle. But what these are gonna allow me to do is raise and lower the hydraulic jack plate that I have on my motor now. And then the other one is gonna be for trimming the motor up and down. Another way I can trim it is on the throttle handle here too as well. So the throttle handle and everything positioned right there, obviously, just like a normal boat. We have our Suzuki gauges here, along with the starting key. And then I also have a power pole control right here too as well that I attached to raise and lower my power pole. Super pumped about that. Another big storage compartment that Finval added in the boat here, right underneath both the consoles, is this nice big empty space slot here. Basically got all my life jackets in there. I got the stern light in there. Super easy to access. Just lift that up, grab them out if you need them. So right here on the floor, we just have a little basically compartment here for garbage can or whatever you want to use it for, day box, whatever. You can store a bunch of stuff in there. This compartment here is where all of the magic is happening. I do have all the terminal covers in the truck, but I figured for this video I'd leave them off just so you guys could see what's going on. But we are going to get those terminal covers on here right after this video. But right now I am running two 36-volt Norsk lithium batteries. These are 60 amp hour batteries, so I have 120 amp hours. That is going to be running the Garmin Kraken up front. The nice thing about these Norsk lithiums here, these 36 volts, is they actually have a 28 volt side too as well. These are for my black boxes. So I have my two black boxes up front wired to those 28 volt terminals. Just so that, again, that I'm getting nice clean power to those black boxes, the most power that the black boxes can basically pull, allowing me maximum efficiency with those black boxes. Right here, this is where the graphs and the extra black box that I have here in the back is all connected to. All my graphs and everything are running off of this 135 amp hour 16 volt battery. So I'm going to get maximum runtime using that 16 volt battery compared to running like a standard 12 volt battery. One thing that I really like about all of these batteries is they are heated. So like this week we're going to Erie. It might be below freezing some nights. So I'm still going to be able to charge these batteries below that freezing mark. I do have a 2-bank charger in here for the 36 volt batteries that I got mounted right here. So awesome setup again. I'll do another video in the future on this setup, but yeah, super excited for that. That's going to power the boat. We shouldn't have to worry about power this year on the boat, which I am super excited about. All right, now we are on to the back deck of the boat. As you can tell, we got a nice little storage compartment, garbage can, whatever you want to use this for. They actually got some holes in here too as well if you wanted to place some baits in here. But just a little storage unit with cup holders on each side. The nice thing about this back deck too as well is we do have jump seats. So that is something that I didn't have on the last boat either, but these jump seats are going to be really nice. That way the passengers have somewhere to sit. They don't have to sit on the livewell. And I'm also not taking up extra space in the cockpit with another seat pedestal. So we got two of these on each side. Underneath, we actually have extra storage on both sides too as well. This side, you could put a battery in here. Obviously, I didn't use it for that. I just got a lot of miscellaneous stuff, fire extinguisher, all of like my first aid kit, some extra line and stuff like that is all in here. And on this side, underneath this jump seat, I actually have a 180 amp hour starting battery, again, from Norsk that I am running as basically the starting battery. And then it also runs all the lights and everything else, all the other accessories in this boat too as well that need 12 volts. Right here, I actually have a Brew City pole here. This is the adjustable pole with the LVS 34 on the bottom of it and their 0-degree mount, which is really nice. We're going to be trying this out this year. I'm pretty pumped for it. Everything mounted really nice to the sport track that we have here on the Finval too as well. I also am trying out some other accessories here too from Superior Fishing Products. We actually have a track 60-inch track from Superior Fishing Products on this side. I do have this LVS 34 transducer set up on a Garmin bulkhead. This is really nice. That way I can hide basically the black box and everything. I have all underneath the helm, and then I ran an extension cable for the LVS 34 here all the way to this bulkhead that allows me to basically just plug the live scope transducer into that bulkhead and then use it on that 16-inch graph that I have at the dash. So very clean. I like having that. I did actually run that on my last boat too as well. And it's just a great add because now I can take this pole completely out of here when we're not using it. So when we're trolling or something like that, or salmon fishing, I can get this pole out of the way, you know, and leave it at home. And then when I want to add it back in there, I just have to plug it in there. So super simple. This back deck, obviously very large, lots of room for casting back here. We do have some extra storage compartments here in the back. These are just super simple storage. I got a bunch of trolling planer boards in there right now. But again, just little extra storage compartments that you can use for whatever you're gonna be needing to bring along with you on the water. And obviously, we also have the live well too as well. This is a very large live well. It goes underneath both of the jump seats. I believe it's right around that 52-inch mark. So very large live well. It's got an oxygenator, obviously pumps to get water in and out too as well. And then it also has a washdown pump. So the washdown pump actually gets connected to the back there. There's a little plug. And then obviously you can use that to spray water in the boat, keep things clean while you're fishing. So another awesome little addition that you can have with the Finvals. All right, so on the transom of the boat, we're gonna start off right away with the dual blade power poles. These things are awesome. They're in the matte black, which I really like. Kind of matches the boat and now matches the motor obviously too as well. But I am running two 10-foot blades this year. Super excited about these. I do have paddles to go on here too as well. That'll kind of help keep us moving a little bit slower when we are up front doing some casting, especially in rough water. I did run a power pole last year, but this year I'm running two power poles. And what I did is I dropped the kicker. So no longer running a kicker this year. We're gonna be running fully off of the electric bow mount, even salmon fishing. So I'm a little excited to kind of get this out there and see what I can do with that. But we'll kind of address the elephant in the room here. We have a brand new Suzuki Stealth 300. Pretty pumped for this. This is a brand new motor to me. I have never ran a Suzuki before. I don't know. When I first saw this thing, I was just in awe. It's almost the perfect motor for this boat because the color and everything, it just matches the Stealth color that we have on the outside. And it looks super, super, super sharp. So really excited about this. Again, this is a 300. This is gonna move this boat fairly fast. Last year when I test drove the 685 with the 300, I think even with 3 people in it, we were still well over that 60 mile an hour mark, which pretty impressive for a 22-foot boat. But yeah, super, super excited about this guy. We're gonna be ripping this. I'll definitely give you guys like my full review at the end of the season. But really excited to be running a Stealth this year. I can't say enough good things about how it went rigging wise. I actually had the guys over at Bayside Outdoors here in Green Bay help me mount this motor along with the jack plate and everything in the steering system. They did an awesome job. Everything looks really, really well done. I actually added a hydraulic jack plate this year too as well. That's gonna allow me to lift this motor up and down. So yeah, big shout out to the guys over at Bayside Outdoors. They did a great job. This thing is looking pretty sexy back here. And I think it's time to get it in the water and do some fishing. So that is the new rig. This is the 2026 Battleship that we are going to be running this year. Super excited to do some competitions in this, and then obviously super excited to do some filming out of this bad boy too. So if you guys have any questions about this, or if you see something that I didn't cover that you want covered, leave some comments for me down below. I'll do my best to answer those. But yeah, you're going to be seeing this beast in the next couple of videos here. But yeah, we don't have much time left. We got to go home, get packed. We got to get on the road. We are heading to Ohio. We're going to be fishing Lake Erie. And this first video that you guys are going to be seeing, we're hopefully going to be smashing some fish. So stick with us, stay tuned. We're going to get on the water. We're going to go catch some Lake Erie walleyes.